Good afternoon, students. I'm Bestrija. Today I'm going to teach you the subject about what are hormones and what is the mechanism of action of hormones in our body. So before that, let me ask you, have you ever experienced the feeling like whenever you see the food that you like, your favorite food, you feel like eating it more? Or whenever you see the food that you don't like, you feel like, no, yeah, I don't feel like eating, right? Or your best friend who was shorter than you a year ago is now growing really fast and is now taller than you. Have you ever felt like, what is this? How is he growing so fast? How did he grow so fast in a year? Exactly. All these are just because of the action of hormones, the release of hormones in our body. Of course, the food that we eat also stimulate the release of hormones. Fine. Let me tell you in detail. Hormones. Hormones are the chemical substances that are released in our body by certain glands called endocrine glands. These are also called as ductless glands because they don't have any duct. These glands directly directly release into the circulation. These glands directly release these chemicals into the circulation. These chemicals are also non-nutritious in nature because they don't have any vitamins or minerals or anything like that. They are just made up of amino acids and lipids and sometimes carbohydrates. Now, based on their ability, solubility, they based on their solubility, these are of two types: lipid soluble hormones and water soluble hormones. Here I have shown you in the form of a block diagram. These are hormones. Hormones are divided into lipid soluble and water soluble hormones. Again, lipid soluble hormones are divided into steroid hormones and thyroid hormones. Why are these lipid soluble? Because of the structure of benzene in their formation. They are made from steroid hormones are also because of carbohydrate lipids also. Okay, cholesterol. Steroids are derivatives of cholesterol. Thyroid hormones contains tyrosine. Okay, water soluble hormones are amine hormones and peptide hormones. These are made from amino acids. Amino acids. Now, these are a few of the hormones that are released in our body, just like corticotropic releasing hormone, thyrotropin releasing hormone, gonadotropin releasing and inhibiting, prolactin releasing and inhibiting. Somatokinin and statin are nothing but related to growth hormone. These all hormones stimulate the release of stimulatory hormones or tropic hormones. These tropic hormones, makes the glands to release the prime hormones like corticosteroids, thyroid hormones, testosterone, estrogens, and progesterones. These are called as tropic hormones. The hormones that makes the endocrine glands to release the working hormones are called as tropic hormones. Next, coming to the mechanism of hormone. Before that, let me give you an example. For example, in an for example, in an institution, let's take head of the institution or principal. Let's take principal of the institution. He wants to give a short notice to the students of class 10. Okay, short notice. Short notice to class 10. So what will he do? He has two choices. Number one choice, give it to the admin department. They printed it to the paper. Other option is inform to a class 10 student passing by. Class 10 student passing by. Okay. The head of, like he has two choices, either to inform a class 10 student or any other student or a teacher. Either to inform a person, to inform the class 10 directly, or just print it on a paper and give it to the admin, inform it to the admin department and print it on a paper. Let's take the case of printing on a paper. What will it happen? The information, piece of information that is printed on the paper, let's take it as the hormone. Okay. So now this piece of information is carried uh, by a person to the class 10. Now, what happens? That information is delivered by another person, the person teaching in the class, the class teacher or someone else. That information is delivered to the students by the class teacher or class head. What do we say that? Class leader or class captain. Okay. The admin department doesn't directly go and inform, but the class 10 student who was informed primarily, what will you do? He'll directly go inform it to his friends, right? Now let's take this piece of paper, case 1, as water soluble hormone. The student of class 10 who was informed as lipid soluble. Okay, let's take it like that. Now what happens? Just remember it like that. Okay, now I'll explain you same outline. What happens in the case of hormones in our body? The glands releases the hormone. Let's think glands as the head of the department. Okay, releases the hormones, piece of paper, information. Now it reaches the target organ. Target organ is class 10, which we imagine here. The target organ is the organ where the action, the work should happen. Okay. Let's take it as class 10. Now reaches the target organ. It has two ways. Okay. Now here attaches to the cellular receptors is a condition 1. Transmembrane receptors is a condition 2. Cellular receptors is nothing but lipid soluble hormones. Okay. Transmembrane receptors is water soluble. What happens? Cellular receptors. These are the receptors that are present inside the cell, target organ cell, the receiving cell. Okay. These cellular receptors, what happens is the information, the hormones which are lipid soluble directly enter into the lipid bilayer membrane of the cell, directly enter into it. And what happens is they enters the nucleus of the cell. They get involved in transcription, translation, release of proteins. That's the way the target organ response is shown. Whereas transmembrane receptors Whereas transmembrane receptors, the the organ, the hormone that is reached is water soluble hormone, so it can't enter the lipid bilayer. It attaches to the transmembrane receptor, and this transmembrane receptor activates the secondary messengers. Here, the secondary messengers in our example is class, either the class teacher or the class captain who delivers the information. Okay, just relate the both things. Okay, like that it happens. Like that, the secondary messengers are activated, and thus those secondary messengers phosphorylates the protein, and the phosphorylated proteins are the form of response shown by these organs. Okay. Now induces the target response through the transcription or phosphorylation or phosphorylation. Now response shown by the target organ. This is a brief